Congratulations on this film. This is my kind of movie. Can I just say this? A bunch of good dudes in the wilderness, and not just dudes, also a woman, and we've got gold bars, and we've got Treasure of the Sierra Madre, and we've got Sorcerer, we got crazy rope bridges. Love survival movies. What is the appeal for you guys in this kind of a script?
Well, I'll lead off. It's just what you said. There's kind of this old-fashioned adventure film that I grew up loving and I miss. A hero's tale, a journey, an odyssey, Ulysses against all the different trials. And it has this simplicity to it because it's not about like superhumans, it's about humans.
Right.
Trying to do really difficult things and having to use each other to survive. And it's character driven. It has a simplicity that those kind of Rudyard Kipling stories would have, right?
Simplicity and also a great sense of process. I think about this sequence that you have with the rope bridge where they have to throw gold bars and then you're throwing them to another person. Like, movies tell stories and tell action in such a clean way. You really do a beautiful job in this.
Thank you.
What comes first for you as a director, as a storyteller? Is it a visual sequence or is it character?
It's almost easier to answer that question from the cutting room backwards, which I think it goes performance first. So I think that has to be, if it's not believable, then all the cinematography, all the visuals, all the music and everything doesn't matter, right? And then I tend to think of things musically second, so I would say that, the performance sort of informs, the words inform the performance if I'm looking for it, if say I was cutting it, and then the inspiration for the music or no music, a lot of in the wait, very little music inspires me from that. As far as sequences that are more like the Gold Bridge, you couldn't have said it better. Sorcerer was one of the first films that we really got inspired by. And obviously we didn't have the time or the money, but we wanted to have our little wink to Sorcerer. So, first order of business was to find that bridge 500 feet above a ravine. And they put Ethan out on it, and that was...
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to ask you guys a question just as actors. There's such a believable grunginess to this film. You're outside for most of this shoot. Was this hard? Was this a hard film to make?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. It was
Not for me.
Yeah, because he was in a warming tent looking at the monitor.
Video Village.
Yeah.
One more time.
It was hard the way summer camp is hard. It was so fun that we were tired at night and people got injured and it was difficult and we were all trying to take care of each other and we were trying to get great shots. And so the movie's an adventure story, and it felt like as much as grown-ups get to have real adventure in their life, we got to have that. And you speak so beautifully about nature guiding us. Every day was so fun because we were outside.
Like camping, what was that like?
I think two of the things that I love the most about the experience, one was just being with these guys in nature day in and day out. And the sort of mirrors the script, something that I loved about the script, which is that it's a survival movie and you've got all these characters with completely different backstories on the same journey. And they share this goal of surviving. And so you have to lean on each other and help each other. And that was my experience making this film and leaning on these guys and vice versa and just getting through it together. And then we are in the most beautiful place. It just doesn't get more beautiful than
Was
that.
it shot on location in Oregon?
No.
No, Bavaria. Forest, which is natural place to shoot Oregon.
Isn't it on the same latitude, longitude?
It probably is. There's a difference in the trees, obviously, but what happened was we'd gone originally right after Ethan and I had sort of gotten it together, and Russell was involved at this point. We went up to Vancouver Island to have a poke around, and for just the normal reasons, it didn't really work out. So we ended up looking at a bunch of places to shoot it, and we got a pitch from the Germans in Bavaria, and they'd sent me back a lookbook that I thought was my lookbook from Vancouver Island. I thought the pictures were my pictures, and then I realized that that they had taken them, and so then it was sort of full speed ahead in Bavaria.
Well, it's very believable. Did you guys have? Was it enjoyable for you guys shooting this film, or is enjoyable the wrong word?
No, it was enjoyable. It's exactly the right word. It was amazing, yeah. And like tricky scenes physically, like the river, for example. Even when we were in the river for the 20th time, pretty cold by that point. It still felt good because you kind of, you know what it looks like, and you can see that struggle in screen. So it was just great.
Well, not to mention, it was so fun, and I'll never get out of my head the visual of everybody in their nude wetsuits. I just had to say, I mean, that's a really great memory.
Also, I've never seen that moment in a film before where someone is helping someone underwater by almost like by kissing them. I mean, it's a very poetic image. That's like this filmmaking.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean, you just felt the whole time, you just felt sort of honored to be a part of. It was the best script I had read in years, and to be honest, I don't know if we talk about it enough, but Ethan was number one, and he set the tone every day. He would come in, he would have the most to do, come in, coffee ready, energized, ready to go, and it just, when you have that sort of guy leading the charge, you're like, okay, well, I got to get in the river 20 times too.
Yeah.
You know, he's going, he's ready to go. Okay, let's go. You know, it just sets the tone, and it makes a huge difference, I think.
Maintaining that kind of edge,
The whole time.
that tension
Yeah.
between characters.
Stamina's unbelievable.
Yeah.
His stamina for that attitude and coming in every day, like, friendly, excited. And I've said it a couple times the last couple of days, but these guys hadn't seen some of the quite a bit of the locations because we'd scouted, and this would be the first time. And Ethan coming in and kind of going like, "Oh, this is where I get to, do my thing today."
We get to see the set.
Yeah, and then the ideas are coming like that,
Like he was almost skipping to set.
But the whole time, the stamina is unbelievable.
It was.
Would you say, I mean, obviously this is an exciting moment for you professionally right now in your career. Would you say that stamina is really kind of the takeaway? Like on every job, is it about like throwing yourself?
Wouldn't you say that's life? Life presents us with all. You just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep following things that you think will bring you joy and where you can be of use to the world, right? And put yourself in that position. You worked so hard to get this opportunity. Sometimes opportunities. None of us we're all only as good as our opportunities. You don't get a good part, you can't excel. You don't get to helm a movie, you don't get to show off what you've learned. And so we all were pretty. I think when you work from a place of gratitude, then good things happen. When you realize that we're not owed this, we're given this.
You earn it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I have to ask this question. Obviously, we're here to celebrate movies and art in Sundance, and it's such a privileged experience we're having here. But obviously, so much is happening in America right now and in Minneapolis. Would any of you care to use this platform to speak about what's going on?
Here's what's fascinating to me. I've been doing things like this, like an interview in a room like this, since 1989. I've never been afraid to speak publicly. And I feel like it's not that I'm afraid, but we're weary. The environment is so corrosive, and free speech is so inhibited, and the power, there's so much fear in the air. I've never witnessed it, and it feels really wrong. I think about, I'll jump off and just say this. None of you are responsible for what I say or whatever.
I know where you're going.
I had this thing, I was 30 years old, and I watched one of my favorite actors, Warren Beatty, win the Kennedy Center honor. And George W. Bush gave it to him. Nobody was more vocal campaigning against George W. Bush than Warren Beatty. Warren Beatty's masterpiece, he's playing a communist. And Warren Beatty goes and accepts the prize, and George Bush gives it to him. And they're getting their picture taken, and they're talking about America. And I remember I was 30 years old, and I thought, I'm an artist in a free country. And I felt so grateful. I was like, wow, this is a free country.
Free country, yeah.
This is a great country. And I don't feel that. And what's going on in Minneapolis is an extension of that. It's obviously violent. It's obviously wrong. And I'm scared to talk about it because I don't want to push anybody away. I want to invite what's best in America to come out and invite it in because I know we're better than this.
Yeah.
That's so well put. And I hope you don't mind. I shifted focus a little bit.
No.
I just wanted
Sorry.
Ethan. I'm glad that Ethan was our, at least a spokesman for me, because he said it better than I could have ever said it. But I back him 1,000,000%. I know where we stand, sort of in America, and it's funny how it's much vitriol there is, and I watch. Unfortunately, I've got 2 elderly folks living with me, my parents. And they've been led in my opinion, led astray for the last 30 years. And so I get a healthy dose of what they listen to every day. And it's shocking and, in my opinion, repulsive of what from where, where Bush was with Beatty till now, where it can't even be these left-wing lunatics, this or, this. And I know there's some, going the other way, but in my opinion, it stems mostly from, the right wing. We've got a guy, who's, I think, unabashedly walking around Minneapolis in an SS uniform, and I think that's pretty fucked up times. That's my
Art bridges these factions, and I just love that you guys spoke to that, and I love this movie so much.
Well, before we close, too, I think that's part of why we all wanted to make this movie and to put into the conscious. I feel proud that we're going to screen tonight a movie that is about heroism. You walk out of the movie going like, I want to be a person who stands up for other people. I want to be a person who decides to tell the truth. I want to do the right thing. I want to take care of my kid. Just those kind of old school values that have no politics attached to them. Honor, dignity, integrity, compassion. Those are not debatable.
They should transcend left wing, right wing.
Yeah.
But that's also in the film, because you've got these characters who come from such different backgrounds and have such different perspectives, and because of the nature of the survival element, at the end, they're brothers. And you see that, and I think that's a really important message for what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Because what we really need to figure out is, what is the way through? How do we get here, and what's the way through?